Atlanta News First Plus starts now.
Welcome to Atlanta News First Plus. We are just a little over a month away from spring, and that means the Braves and baseball are back, and we already are getting the excitement to you on the screen here. Baseball season just around the corner, and pitchers and catchers reporting to spring training down in Northport, Florida. Our very own sports director, Bailey Burmaster, is there to catch all the action and the energy. Bailey, joining us now. You have been down there for a couple days now, kind of following along with the Braves. What's the energy like out there?
The energy is always great in Northport this time of year. The stadium is beautiful, the weather could not be better, and then you get to see these players who are ready to get back in the swing of things, and they have massive smiles on their face. Pitchers and catchers reported yesterday, so all of them were here. And then today, of course, we're starting to see some of the position players trickle in. So we saw Ozzie Albies on Tuesday. Today, for Wednesday, we saw Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. had returned from his Bad Bunny halftime performance where he was here back in the building. Everyone is all smiles. Manager Walt Weiss even said so as much to us that this is the best time because everyone's excited to get back here. 3 or 4 months is when you kind of have to push these guys through things because it can be a very long month. But right now, the energy is high, the vibes are high. The sun is shining. This is the time to be in Northport.
I definitely envy you being down in Florida under the sunshine right now. As the full team trickles in, what kind of storylines are you following as of now?
Yeah, the biggest one right now is the discussion of right-handed pitcher Spencer Schwallenbach, who has really made a name for himself over the last year and a half, was going to be part of that rotation. It was announced yesterday that he was put on the 60-day injured list with right elbow inflammation. We were told here that he wasn't going to necessarily need surgery, but he was going to miss significant time. That narrative has changed as of this morning. We were able to talk to Schwelly in Clubhouse, and he basically detailed that the next step would be some type of scope surgery, but that has not been discussed at length. It has not been planned, but that is the next step. And the more we talk to him and Weiss, it seems that will most likely be the road they will go. So losing him is a massive loss for this rotation, but it leaves the question of who will step up. Right now, if it was supposed to start today, you would say Chris Sale, Spencer Strider, Ronaldo Lopez, and Grant Holmes would be the 4 guys. So that 5th spot is up for grabs for Bryce Elder, Hurston Waldrip, and of course Joey Wentz. However, those guys are out of options. So you're going to possibly lose 1 or 2 of those guys, which would also not be ideal when you're trying to keep this depth. But Weiss said that he's talked to the pitchers specifically, asking them, hey, we're going to have to utilize all of you, and so all of you are going to have to step up at some point. The good news as far as Ronaldo Lopez and Grant Holmes, who battled injury last year, is they are not in any type of restriction. They are good to go. So the pitching situation is going to be one that's definitely going to be a storyline to watch as spring training ramps up, Maria.
And former manager Brian Snitker also is serving in a new advisory role. I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to get eyes on him and catch up with him.
Yes, Maria, we were able to not only see him, but talk to him a little bit. And I hate to say it, but he's got a glow about him. It's just, you can tell he's rested. It's weird. This is the first time, he really hasn't had to suit up for spring training in a long time. But I hate to say that retirement looks really good on him. However, he is still very much around. He's in that advisor role. And Weiss told us that Snitker's going to be a great sounding board for him this upcoming season. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing Snit around a lot more as the season goes on.
Exactly. Speaking of Walt Weiss, any eyes on him? I know he's taken over as manager. A lot of change is expected in the season ahead.
Yeah, Weiss's first spring training as manager, we asked him if it felt different. He said it did. It was the first time sitting in the office in that chair where Snit used to sit, so it's a little different feel. When he was a bench coach, he was actually in charge of doing the scheduling for spring training. And this year, he doesn't have a clue about, well, not a total clue, but, he doesn't take charge of that schedule anymore. So it's interesting how we've seen his role evolve, but still very much in all aspects. He spent a lot of time watching pitchers today. He, drives around in the cart to make sure he's seeing everyone around. So he's getting acclimated as well. I think it's interesting because although a lot of things about this ball club feel familiar, whether it's the likes of Matt Olson and Austin Riley, who have been around a long time, there's a lot of new coaches, there's some new faces, and it's going to be Weiss's, chapter to take over and kind of define who he wants to be as a manager.
Well said. And I know another player that comes up is catcher Sean Murphy, suffering from a serious hip injury. Any update on what his role in the 2026 season will be?
Yeah, right now there is no timetable for his return. However, he said as far as his progression and rehab, it's been all systems a go. He actually started running yesterday, and we got to see a little bit of that. Wasn't a whole lot, but he was moving. So I think they'll slowly work him back, but there's no timetable for his return either.
We here at Atlanta News First have been hard at work with keeping you up with all things Braves. Bailey, I know that we're putting together for this Sunday for everyone a special centering around the Braves, this spring training. You've been down there watching everything closely. Can you tell us a little bit about what people can expect?
Yeah, Atlanta News First live from spring training. I'll be live on site. We'll have a lot of reports. One of the interesting storylines that we've been following this week is on Tuesday we were able to see infielder Nacho Alvarez with the catchers, and he's getting some work with them. It seems someone approached him and brought up the versatility and how important that would be, and they need that depth with Sean Murphy out. Obviously, you have Drake Baldwin. Chadwick Tromp is back, who was with the team last year. He left a little bit with the Orioles, but now he's back in this spring training. Sandy Leon, and then they also picked up Jonah Heim on a one-year major league deal. So they're adding depth to that area, which is going to be needed, but someone like Nacho who can do a lot and is athletic. Drake Baldwin even said he's doing pretty good. He's pretty impressed. So I'm sure Nacho will be leaning on Drake a little bit as he gets his feet wet at catcher. So we're going to have a lot of storylines like that. We'll have an in-depth look at the rotation because we know that's one that Braves fans are going to keep a close eye on. And the injuries, just how everyone is coming back from injuries. We talked to Ozzy Albies about his up and down year and how he feels healthy coming into this year. So there's a lot that we can break down with this team, a lot of new faces, and so we're excited to bring you all of those stories on Atlanta News First, live from spring training.
Yep, Sunday, 6:30 is going to be the time you're going to want to join us, both on air and online. Right here where you're streaming is where we're going to be, and we will have this also available on demand in case you're out and about this Valentine's Day weekend. Bailey, I got to ask you, we've been following the Braves very closely for some time. What are you looking forward to most this season?
Yeah, for me, it might sound a little basic, but I can't wait to see a full year of healthy Ronald Acuna Jr. Today he was taking some BP and he smacked one out of the park, and he just turned around and he said, yeah, I'm healthy now. And he is. And I think just from his return in May last year, where you saw him first pitch that he saw live action in that season, sending it as a homer, I mean, what more could you not want? That is what I'm excited to see, is Acuna back in action. I'm excited to see this lineup. They have some new faces that you're going to want to pay attention to. Mauricio Dubon is someone that's going to have to step up with Ha-Seong Kim out with injury. And I really just want to see this team stay healthy, because I do believe they have one of the best lineups when healthy. They have one of the best rotations when healthy. They have a stacked team. It's just, can they manage the depth and keep themselves healthy? That is the name of the game, Maria.
You're very invested in that particular thing happening, and I love it. So are we. It's going to be a fantastic 2026 season. It all starts with the effort these guys are putting in with spring training. So Bailey Burmaster, I'll let you get back to talking with the players on the field. In the meantime, I kind of want to walk folks through what we saw out of day one of spring training. Everyone getting settled in, walking onto the field and going, okay, this is it. This is the 2026 season. Let's reset. Let's focus. Our Bailey Burmaster, again, taking us through that first day right out in Northport, Florida, where all the magic is happening.
In Walt Weiss's first day of spring training as manager, he's dealing with a familiar issue from the last two seasons: injuries. The team placed right-handed pitcher Spencer Schwallenbach on the 60-day injured list. He is expected to miss significant time, a huge blow to this rotation.
I always say, before a season even starts, your pitching depth is going to get tested. It's inevitable, so you'd rather not, have it be right away in February. But we got a lot of capable guys in there, and they're going to get a look, and that's exciting. But yeah, I feel for Spencer more than anything else.
With the movement of Schwallenbach, the Braves have signed catcher Jonah Heim to a one-year major league deal. He adds depth at the position while Sean Murphy works his way back from hip surgery.
I feel good. I think we're making good progress on the hip, and we're checking boxes as we go. But so far, no setbacks and everything's going well. I don't have an exact date or timeline, but I feel good, and I think everything's going well, and we're getting good reports.
Interestingly enough, Nacho Alvarez Jr. was also working with the catchers, something he was open to and Weiss says helps versatility on the team. Depth has been the name of the game all offseason. With Schwallenbach out of the mix, that starting rotation will look something like Chris Sale, Spencer Strider, Ronaldo Lopez, and Grant Holmes. The fifth spot is up for grabs. However, it's important to remember that Hurston Waldrop, Joey Wentz, and Bryce Elder are all out of options. Reporting in Northport, Bailey Burmaster, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, it really is ramping up quickly, and now we're going into this first full week of Brave spring training leading up to Sunday at 6:30, where we bring you live onto the field with these guys so you can see how they're gearing up for 2026. And of course, the excitement continues with us here on Atlanta News First as we bring you all things Braves, both on air and online, and right here on ANF+. We're going to take you to a brief commercial. When we come back, let's talk about your heart health. It is American Heart Month in February, an important reminder to make sure that you're looking after yourself, your loved ones, when it comes to the heart. We'll be right back.